Hi everyone, today we're going to go ahead and do an experiment that aligns with the next generation science standard MSPS1-2, matter and its interactions. So today we are going to explore the fascinating chemical reaction between baking soda and vinegar. This experiment will help us understand the properties and substances and how they change during a chemical reaction. Are you guys ready for today's experiment? But before we get to our experiment, we're gonna go ahead and go over our vocabulary. So if everybody could go ahead and turn your eyes to the vocabulary wall, we're gonna go ahead and go over the vocabulary. We're gonna do some echo reading. So I'm gonna read a definition, then you guys repeat. After we're done, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a simple definition of the vocabulary words. You guys ready? So I say, you guys repeat. So we have reactant, product, chemical reaction, gas, carbon dioxide, acid, base, and indicator. Good job, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a simple definition. Reactant is a thing that is mixed with another thing to make something new. A product is the new thing that is made when those two things are mixed together. A chemical reaction is when two things are mixed together to make something new. Gas is an air-like stuff that can fill up a balloon or make bubbles. Carbon dioxide is a kind of gas that we breathe out and plants use to grow. Acid is a sour liquid that can be mixed with other things to make a new thing. A base is a thing that can be mixed with an acid to make something new happen. And an indicator is a sign that shows something is happening. Do you guys have any questions? All right, let's go ahead and get started, guys. So for today's experiment, we are gonna be using vinegar, baking soda, a clear container, in this case, a bottle, a balloon, and a spoon. So our first step is to pour some vinegar into our bottle. And then we're gonna put some baking soda in the bottle. Before we do that, let's go ahead and stretch our balloon. Just a tiny bit. It will make this easier. So now we are going to watch closely as we pour the baking soda into the vinegar, and then watch closely to see the reaction. Couldn't find my spoon there. Here we go. You'll see some bubbles. It's gonna be a little messy, but it's okay. Let's pour a generous amount of baking soda in there. Oh no, let's put our balloon. Maybe we're a little too late. See what happens. Did you guys hear that? Look at our balloon, guys. What's happening? So what's happening? Would you guys see the bubbles forming and the balloon inflating? This is because the baking soda and the vinegar react to produce carbon dioxide gas. Let's talk about what's happening here. So the baking soda, which is a solid, and the vinegar, which is a liquid, are reactants in this chemical reaction. When they're combined, they produce carbon dioxide, which is a gas, and the production of gas is a clear indicator that there's a chemical reaction. As you guys see, the balloon keeps inflating, and you guys could hear that gas escaping, trying to escape. How fascinating is this? So in conclusion, we see how the properties of substances change during a chemical reaction. This experiment demonstrates the concept of the reactants and an indicator that there is a chemical reaction. Do you guys see that? This is so cool. I hope you guys are enjoying this phenomenon right here. So we're gonna go ahead and put this aside, and we'll see at the end how much we get our balloon to inflate. But while we wait, we're gonna go ahead and go over our vocabulary one more time. My hands hurt. So do you guys remember the vocabulary? We're gonna go ahead and go over it, and then we're gonna see what everything happened. You guys ready? So we have substance. So we have reactant, and that is when in our experiment, reactant is when we put the baking soda and the vinegar. Well, these are our reactants, our baking soda and our vinegar. And then we have the product in this reaction, which included carbon dioxide, the gas that filled up the balloon. And then we have our chemical reaction happen when we mixed our two reactants together to produce a chemical reaction, producing gas. And then we have gas here in our experiment. Gas was the reaction. Here is the carbon dioxide, and then we have carbon dioxide, which is the gas that was produced by the bubbles when we added the baking soda into our vinegar. And then we have our acid, which is the vinegar that reacted with the baking soda, which happens to be our base. And the indicator in our experiment was the bubbles, which indicated that there was a chemical reaction happening or taking place. I hope you guys enjoy this experiment as much as I did. It's a little bit messy, but it was fun. Thank you. So now with your group or your partner, I want you guys to answer the following questions. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. I'm going to be walking around. So what evidence do you guys have that a chemical reaction occurs when we mix baking soda and vinegar? I'm going to give you guys a few minutes, and I'm going to be walking around listening to your answers. Good job, guys. Can someone tell me what evidence do you guys have that there was a chemical reaction happening? That is right. It was the bubbles, and the bubbles created when the two reactants were mixed together. So we had bubbles created, which produced gas. Good job, guys. One more question. You guys go ahead and discuss it with your group. So how does the amount, what do you guys think will happen if the amount of baking soda, let me rephrase that question. How does the amount of baking soda affect the amount of gas produced in the reaction? So what do you guys think would happen if I add either more baking soda or more vinegar? What do you guys think is going to happen? I'm going to walk around and listen to your answers, and then I'm going to go ahead and ask for a volunteer. All right, does someone want to volunteer? So what do you think? How do you think the amount of baking soda will affect the amount of gas produced in the reaction? Do you think it's going to be, if I add more baking soda, is my balloon going to inflate more? Or is it going to be smaller? What do you think? That's right. If I add more baking soda, it will be a bigger chemical reaction happening and my balloon won't inflate more. Well, thank you, everyone.